Well, hello and welcome, everybody. This is RoxAnne Lava's Monday Mission. It is June 28th, 2021. And here's what the first thing I'd like to say is, how in the world could we be halfway through 2021? I can't believe how quickly it has gone. The first thing I wanted to also tell you is I guess you noticed that I am not in my home studio right now. Where I am is actually in my shore house, my home in Atlantic City. Don't get excited, everybody. It's a straight through row home and it's a lovely little house. And it is much like my home in Philadelphia, and about the same size, but it does not have a basement. So in this house, my studio is the small bedroom up at the back and in the back of the house. Some strange noises going on, just checking. Anyway, so here's the problem with the place in Atlantic City. My partner often shares it with me. And he was down here doing some work on the home. And while he was here, he needed to do a bunch of his own work. He's a carpenter. And so he converted what was set up as my studio into his office. And so now I have to reset up my studio. So that's on the docket for this week. But really what I wanted to share with you this week was my first time out at the Galloway Green Market. And this is my side hustle with my shoe business. So we talked a lot about it last week. We talked about getting things ready. We talked about having stuff together. And so what I thought I'd do with you for this half hour or so, because this is particularly applicable to any of you who are solopreneurs, particularly makers, particularly working with markets, and also particularly working with partners. We talked last week about how my partnership is actually with the township, and then the township also has a partnership with the Go Green committee that runs the market. And you might all remember that what I do is every 2 weeks, I am contracted to come up with upcycled, very nicely upcycled materials from readily available recycled items in the home. And so you might recall from last week that I told you that I had themed my opening around a typical takeout meal. And I had made a bird feeder out of the food box and a bamboo chopstick. And I'm just going to show you. This is over here. So I'm hoping you can see it. I just had it up on my window for the heck of it. If not, I think you've seen it before, or you can check a bunch of other places for me, Facebook, Instagram, and you can see the actual bird feeder and how I put it together, particularly on my Instagram. The other thing that I did was I took the bag and I cut it down into yarn, and I used the bamboo chopsticks to knit a scrubby. I don't know where it is right now, but maybe it's here. Here's my scrubby. Okay. And you also might recall that I was going to, during the event, knit another bag utilizing soda tabs. Well, that didn't quite happen because, things have to evolve as they evolve at the market. But let me also just remind you that some of the other things that I do is I provide images that are sneak peeks with a message for pre-tease promotion. And I also provide a sheet of instructions that can be distributed through a Facebook page, through a file, any kind of file, through your website, whatever, to have for people who are at home who see this and would like to do it. So I generally and typically do this for whoever I'm working with. And I have done so when I've worked with other partners through the township. So I wanted to just let you know. And then also while I'm there, I also have them prepped so that I can show how to make them through the stages very quickly live from the event demo. And then what I did was I worked the booth, and I worked it with also my contact from the township, and we had this great tiffin box giveaway, which we will be doing each week when we're there. It's a metal tiffin, and we talk about it in terms of sustainability, and then we also talk about it in terms of the project that I've created. And for those who listen, we give them a free tiffin. And we have a limited number each week, so if people will stop, watch what I'm doing, talk to me about recycling, they get this free, very, very nice stainless steel tiffin box. So the first thing that I wanted to show you guys from the week was, here was my setup. Now, I wanted to tell you that I'm extremely excited about my banner. I think it came across just great. Now, the market provided me with the tent top and with the 2 tables. They really only provided me with 1, and that's why I have only 1 cover. When I got there, I realized that it would be better if I had 2, and they did have 2. So I didn't have a cover for that table this week, but I will be working on that for the next time I am there, which will not be this Thursday, but will be the next following Thursday. So what you can see here is that what I did, as I told you, if you look at my shoe mirror, you can see that I have my bird feeder on there. That was one way for me to do it. You can also see that I have a few tools and a self-healing cutting board on my table so that I had some room to make. And you can see the 2 tiffins here. Now, this sign really read well. I mean, it was just fantastic. I had an opportunity to go to a ladies' room, and when I came back, I got the spot that I wanted. It was terrific. It was right where I could make the most of people entering the market from all sides. And as you were coming across the bridge from the historic town of Smithville, you could just see this. It was fantastic. You can see that I have a few logo tees here. Again, windy, so they weren't actually displaying as well as I would like. So I will work on that for the next time a little bit. And you can see that I have, these are my upcycled kimonos. I will have more of those next time, and I will likely put them in a different location and in a different way. I may do as I've done in the past, I have sort of like a garment rack, which is one way to do it. I also have one of those extend a hanger, so it's got 6 different slots, so you can be really good in your closet and hang them in that way. I also may hang and feature one and then have the other ones folded below them. The other thing that I wanted to show you, so I'm going to just zoom in a little more here and maybe move over, is that, so these are prototype shoes that I was selling. They are for sale. This is a packaged foot scrub and foot soak. I did not promote that well. That's a $5 2-package item that I need to improve upon. And I had long ago made some great promo postcards. On one side, it talks about why you should purchase made-to-order items, the benefits of that to not only environmental sustainability, but also to yourself. And it also, on the back, talks about price transparency, where I talk about paying a living wage to somebody in order to make handmade shoes and how that works, and that, it's not an extortionate wage that I'm giving myself in order to do that at the price point that I'm at. You can see that I did have a sign here. I have a sign here. I also have one over with the logo tees hanging here. Now, the big issue, and I'm going to tell you this from a display standpoint about all of this, is we wanted to invite people, so it's a little bit of a challenge, but we'll figure it out. We wanted to invite people back to talk to us so that they could come in and not be distracted by all the walking by traffic as we're talking to them about the project and about how to make something and about the tiffin. So we needed to pull them back a little bit. What I didn't want to do was junk up the front face with a butt. I need to find a better way to do that, and so I will. And so where I obviously need to have a little bit of work, and I guess in this photo you can't really see it, but obviously my tent is here. So I have, instead of having this table, I have a couple of other display tables that are relatively easy to handle and to bring. They can make smaller, intimate displays. So I'm going to play around with that at home. This would be something I can probably just keep in my trunk of my car for the season and pull them out and set them up relatively easily. So in terms of display, I need to do that. And in terms of signage, I need to also make a sign holder and one that will go into a holder for my scrub and soak, my foot scrub and soak. So that will be the next thing that I'm going to do for July 8th. So let me just recap a second here in terms of display tips for you guys. So the big win here is the banner. It's big, it's colorful, it is attention getting, it really focuses on my brand, which is RoxAnne Lava, but yet you can still read Material Girl very, very easily. Now, what's interesting about this as a program, and just talking about that in terms of the brand, I'd also like to say that as I am evolving my brand and moving it into this more thing about sustainability, I think that I can try and start changing my brand story and my and all kinds of things right now into items that are, I can sort of feature myself as Material Girl, and I can talk about myself as Material Girl. So that was something that I think is something that can evolve my brand and it can grow. The next thing is that the next win is that my signage is in proper sign holders. That's something you always want to make sure that you have. You want to make uniform signs and you want to have them in sign holders. So I'm going to show them to you in a minute, but I want to show you something else again before we get there. The other win is having the postcards on both sides that have an explanation about who I am and what I'm doing. And also, what you can't see there is that I did also have business cards. Now, this is an important thing because what I also want to tell you about is that one of the things that I've been seeing that's really important about me and my brand, and I'm going to reduce my photo right now, is about my website. And we've looked at this before, but you haven't always seen it. So I just wanted to show you, these are the Google Console insights about my website views. But the thing that is most important here, and I think is something you've really got to understand about me, is that I get the most information, or most people coming to my website, always and consistently since I have launched my website directly. That means that they are coming from an interaction in some way with me. Okay. And so here's the other thing you'll notice. We were at the show on the 24th. So here you can see I got 2 page views that day. I got 4 page views on Friday. I got 3 on Saturday, and I got 10 today. This is all what is happening from that visit. And again, you can see that we've got a number of pages, and these things all have to do with reactions to things that I've done. So this is a really important metric for you to understand and for you to look at. One of the big problems right now is that I do not have new content from the past 28 days, but I will take care of that this week, because now that I have shown these items that I've done for the Galloway Green, now I can also promote them on my own website and my own social media. So over the weekend, I promoted my images on Instagram, the step-by-steps on my Instagram. That may have led to the big bump in people looking today at what I have done on my site. The other thing is maybe people are finally just kind of getting to sit down after the weekend, and they're going through and starting to look as well. So these could be things that they got from Galloway Green Market. So I really do need to reach out to people and really work that personal connection. And it is something that is totally and utterly important and very important to me. I am going to also show you like how I put these together. So this is the Galloway Green instruction sheet. And here you can see that we're going to do a takeout meal. Here's what we're going to make. Here's how we started to make it. This is what you need. This is how I put it together, right? I try to do this very, very concisely, very, very simply. Project 2, here's what we're going to make, the pot scrubby. Here's how we started, right? Here's what I did. Here's how I got here. I cast it on, I cast it off, I pulled stuff back through, and we had our pot scrubby. So I was doing this also. I gave this to Galloway Green so they can promote it. But now what this will become is a blog post on my website. So I just want to kind of talk a little bit about here's where I'm at, because I'm going through the side gig, and the side gig and the side hustle is helping me evolve my messaging and where I want to be in a particular direction that I think will be good for me. So what it is going to mean is that I'm going to considerably revamp my website. I'm actually going to sell in a different way. So instead of using WooCommerce, I'm going to do a different kind of sales where I'm really just relying, I believe, on PayPal for the most part. I am going to set it up in a different way so that there's not just one shopping page. That doesn't really work well for me. I'm going to also add in my about a story about the evolution of my brand and the evolution of my direction. So that will be a new piece of content. And then as I develop each of these projects, they will become a blog post. So that's a new blog post every other week. I also think I'm going to broadcast a little snippet live on Facebook from the Galloway Market. And I mean something really small, like maybe just a 3-minute thing. It might just be about, hey, here we are at the Galloway Green Market. Look at what's happening today kind of thing. And I think that will also be something that consistently I can do throughout the summer. So that's a good thing because it will also help to populate my Facebook page with more information and more activity. I will also want to do my pre-event posting on all of my own social media as well. So you can see how this is all now shaping up each week, which let me show you something that needs to be updated. So not only do I need to update my website, which I will do, but this is also sort of how I keep myself in order. So I try to say, oh, okay, beginning of the month, I do my newsletter. Well, we're getting ready for another newsletter, so I also can incorporate everything that I did in that. Week 2, I should do a blog post. Week 3, I was doing a blog post that went to LinkedIn and my blog, and it was the article. And so I did an article which went to my blog and to LinkedIn. Then I had a blog that was a podcast. This is what I was doing last summer. I need to change that and really get that into a totally, totally different format as I go forward through my last appearance, which will be September 2nd. And so as I do that, I will create my new marketing formula. And as I create that formula, the thing that I have told you all that's so, so important is that you need to make sure that you are getting the most bang for your buck out of everything that you do. Okay, so for example, because I started the scrub and the foot soak and scrub, I should do a blog post about that because I haven't talked about that at all. And I should have not talked at all about getting your feet ready for the summer and keeping them in good shape over the summer, and what I've done in both of my products to ensure that you have those things. So that's a great blog post right away, and it's something that I can talk about in my newsletter. The other thing, and it's a new product and it's a low cost item, and I can get that out to you. That's something that's easy to sell. So I can do that for $5, really. So that's a good thing. The second thing is that I can also, for everything that I'm talking about, so now I'm developing a whole bunch of, and I need to put them all together, projects that you can do from recycling. So what I can see that I can do with that is that at the end of the summer, I believe that I will probably have a good, say, 12 to 20 projects. So I use this online tool called Designer, and I am going to be able to, with that tool, do things that I can put them together into a booklet, and then perhaps I can sell the booklet. So that is the next thing that I can do. They will become blog posts, but then I can put them together into a volume. I could maybe even tell a story with them. Right? So there can be some kind of narrative going on with that might make it an interesting thing to buy, not just give away. It could also be a free gift that I give to anybody who signs up to my newsletter. So there are all these ways to take one kernel of information that you want to market and then think about all the ways you can maximize it. If you're I've said this before on a number of occasions, if I'm going to do a photo shoot, so I'm going to devote 4 hours to a photo shoot, those photos have to have more than one life. They have to be things that I can show on my Instagram, my social media, anything that I'm doing. They have to be things that I can use on my website. They have to be things that I can use in my newsletters, in my blogs. They have to be things that I can use in promo materials. So all of this has to kind of come together so that you can maximize the content while you minimize the time that you need to develop it. So anyway, I hope you've now kind of seen how I'm working with the program. The last thing that I want to say is, as you are working with your partners, it is also important to make sure that whatever they're doing, you are both working together to maximize your reach. So one of the things that I have not seen is I did 2 really great videos at the market. I haven't seen them hit the market site yet. I haven't seen them hit the Facebook. So one thing I need to do is follow up with the market contact that I have and see if I can somehow make sure or get my hands on those videos, because they would also be great videos for me to have. And even if it's just a link from the market, I'm fine with that. But we need to get together and kind of make sure that our partnership is not just this list of things, but that it's truly a partnership where both of us are gaining from each other. And not just financially, but that we're gaining followers, we're gaining constituents, we're gaining customers, etc. So that's a really important part, and that's going to be my next goal. And as we head on out in this half hour, I hope that this has been helpful for you. And I hope that you'll enjoy watching what is evolving as we go. Obviously, next week, one of the things that we'll be doing is addressing at least some of these items that are on my list. So until then, we have a holiday next Monday. And actually, I guess that's what I should say. Next Monday is the 5th, so I'll be taking that one off. But you will be seeing what I have done in our next show, which will be on, I guess, the 12th of July, whatever that following Monday is. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you find some great tips here, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.